I want to take some Twitter questions, Jay, because we got a lot of them coming in. So the first one is that I think we touched upon this briefly at the start, but the question is it a problem for valuation that most people don't understand shipping and segments?
Is it a problem? Look, if the market was perfect and everybody understood all the valuations and things traded efficiently, like I wouldn't have a business. So we wouldn't make any money. Like you just buy an index and that'd be it. So no, like that's the entire reason I'm in this sector is because it's so crazy. Yeah, I mean, like no, but I get I don't want to laugh. No, it's a good question. No, it's a problem, but it's a problem we can profit from. So like, don't wish it away.
It just goes back to when there's a problem, there's often opportunity, right? So this is a perfect example for that, right?
Exactly. And it's not just shipping. There's other segments. What makes shipping so interesting, there's really a few things. One of them is the market caps are too small for most institutions to play in. They're just small. I mean, they're 200 million, maybe on the small side, maybe the biggest company. Zim's like the biggest company I've ever dealt with. And they were like 7-8 billion at the top. So like not a huge company, right? So big institutional players can't play in there. And second of all, a lot of things that happen in shipping are totally counterintuitive. Like COVID-19 was probably the most bullish thing that could ever have possibly happened to container shipping. But like, imagine telling some average guy in the street in like May of 2020, when, lockdowns are happening, that like shipping is going to be the biggest winner of all of this. It just doesn't make sense, right? When the Ukraine invasion happened, I had a lot of people asking me, personal friends, hey, Jay, like you're in shipping, right? Like, isn't this terrible for shipping? Like, aren't these tankers and bulkers, like they're just going to lose supply and this is terrible for shipping, Jay? And I'm like, no, dude, it's actually like pretty bullish for product tankers. It's actually like mid-sized bulk is probably going to make money on this thing. And they're like, really? What? Why? And so like, not only are their stocks small, they're often like the consensus or like everyman's logic is so bad. And that goes into container ships right now. The everyman logic is like, oh, the rates are high. They can only go down. Like shipping's done. Like Target like has too much inventory. Like, well, first of all, Target just blows at inventory management. But secondly, that's consensus. That's already known. What isn't known is that maybe all these companies have 3 to 5 year leases already. Maybe there's very little ship delivery until middle to late 2023. But there's a lot of nuances in there that make shipping very interesting.
Good answer. Next one. What's your view on Frontline?
Do you ever say bad answer, Chris? You're like, terrible answer, Jay.
I haven't done yet, but let's see. Let's see how it goes further, right? So right, the view on Frontline and Euronav merger, I mean, it's got a lot of debate, of course, and a lot of people excited about that. Are you also on the excited end of that spectacle?
Oh yeah, Hugo de Stoop is one of the most competent operators and capital allocators in the industry. I'm a huge fan of Hugo. I'm a huge fan of what he's done at Euronav. I'm a huge fan of what Frederickson has done in shipping and what he means to shipping. I think the combination and marriage of those two fleets is very complementary. I better be getting a paycheck from Euronav for this. I have no position. I have no financial incentive here. Like I'm not long Frontline or Euronav, and I just think it's good for the industry. There's a opposition to the merger from a certain party. I think it best to just say that I disagree and probably leave it at that.
Okay. This was an interesting one. I've heard rumors of bulkers carrying containers sometimes over the last year or so. I'm curious how prevalent this is and if this could have some slight impacts on bulker market tightness. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I've certainly heard about it. In fact, Genco had a bulker that they retrofitted a little bit to enable them to carry container boxes. I think it was FedEx that did some sort of partnership. I want to say it was FedEx. I think Amazon might have also done something with this. It was kind of weird because some of it was 40-foot high cubes, regular 40-foot boxes like the ones you see on rail cars, and some of these were 53-footers. And the 53-foot was actually a special retrofit. And again, I think it was FedEx. But no, I mean, it's a drop in the bucket. It's like, I don't want to say 1% of 1%. It might've been 10% of 1%, but it was very, very small. I mean, it was like a rounding error. It was kind of so goofy. Like the guy could come out in a call and be like, yeah, our bulker had containers on it. Like it was just kind of, no, it's not a thing. I mean, it's a thing, but it's not going to move the needle either way.
And then the last one, the 3 best stocks to hold by the end of 2022. I mean, you touched on a lot of stocks already, but do you share top 3 at all now for this year?
Look, I mean, of companies that we've talked about publicly, Right, because I cover about 50 names. We also cover some energy infrastructure on Value Investors Edge in partnership with Michael Boyd. He's really the lead on the energy coverage. I don't think it's fair to, VIE just to go into our top list and just say like these are the top 5. I just don't think that's fair. But of the 3, I'll give you 3 that I've talked about publicly, and they're on all 3. These are on the top 10. Like, these aren't bad companies. And they're all similar. Like, I mean, and just people are going to hate me. Like, there's not a lot of diversity here. But Danaus Corp, DAC, the valuation on that company is just unbelievable. I'm not shocked. Like, I've seen this kind of stuff before, so I'm not like my head's not exploding that it's this cheap. But it just disappoints me that the market's just dumb, that it doesn't like. I thought the market was a little smarter, but anytime you think that, you're going to be the one that looks dumb. But no, DAC Danaus Corp is definitely up there. Another company I've talked about a lot publicly that I think most folks have probably never heard of. In fact, it's a company I didn't really know about until like 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, and that's Textainer Group, TGH. That's a box lessor. So just the 20-foot, 40-foot boxes, that's all they do. It's a financial company. It's really a spreadsheet. It's a spreadsheet with some depot operations, repair operations. I'm being a little facetious, but at the end of the day, it's a spreadsheet. And that's a very attractive company. The economics there are very, very good. The average lease duration is 7 years long. All the leases they signed at the top were 10 to 14 years. So people are like, oh, the leases were at the top, they're unsustainable. Well, okay, dude, call me in 2032 and we can talk about it. Like, call me in 2034 and we'll figure out what the leases are at. The box is only good for 14 years. So you have a 14-year lease. Like, who cares? It's going to be demolished at the end of it. That company's astronomically cheap. I mean, it trades at like $30 today. Our fair value estimate is 55. They have an active repurchase program. Last quarter, they repurchased about 1 million shares, just below 1 million shares at $37. So imagine how many they're repurchasing today at 30. I would imagine 1.5 million, maybe. We'll see soon. And they can only repurchase as the cash flow comes in, right? So they're not going to like take out a loan to repurchase more, right? They're not crazy, but they're going to repurchase as the cash flow comes in. So Danaus Corp is 1, TGH is 2. And then by the end of 22, the timeline, because I want to just say it would be easy for me to say, oh yeah, Global Shippers, GSO. But that's like, Jay, like that's the same as that DAC. Like, you're just mirroring, you're just copying something. No, I'm gonna give one more company. And this is a little bit kind of VIE insider. I don't think I talk about this company much. It's been on our buy list for a long time. OSG, Overseas Shipping Group. Another stupid name. They have nothing that's overseas. It's all domestic Jones Act. They have 1 international flag tanker out of like 30 ships total that they work with. So like an overseas, it's a stupid name. Anyways, this company got a takeover offer last summer for $3. It fell through because $3 was not high enough. The company didn't want to sell, and the insiders didn't want to sell for $3. Now the company is like $2 and I don't know, $2.20 today. Let's look it up real quick. Let me turn off the S&P. This is June 15th, by the way. $2.18 today. They just enabled a 5 million share repurchase program. 5 million shares was the authorization. The company only has like 90 million shares total. So that's a pretty big chunk of shares. Was at 6%, 7% share repurchase authorization. And everything at the company is monumentally better than it was a year ago when they got that $3 offer for a takeover. So if that same company, it's called Saltchuk Logistics. It's a small company. Well, not small company. It's a regional company based out of Seattle, Washington. If Saltchuk comes back to the table and wants to buy OSG, I don't know. I don't even know where they would start. They would have to start the bid. I would think 350, 375 would be the starting point. And I think we could, I reasonably believe we could see a takeover as high as 4, maybe even into the low 4s. So that's kind of a special situation. I would say coin flip, literally coin flip 50-50, Chris. 50% odds that that company is either taken over or in the process of receiving a takeover bid by December 31st. So 3 companies, one of them's a little bonus that maybe people have never heard of.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching that highlight. If you like this channel, please make sure to subscribe to it. I'll see you later.